Prologue.
You spend months on the departure, the visas, the goodbyes, maybe finding the perfect suitcase. Are you ready for yourself to embrace the new, the unknown, the strange food, the loneliness? But wait, before explaining what are sojourners, let me tell you something. I don't know, you already have bought your ticket back home? Have you ever thought what is going to happen when you're going to go back home? I don't know. Do you think that your family is going to miss the old you or the new version of you? That maybe they don't know them yet because you haven't seen them yet. But how do you think it's going to be the shock of going back to your own home? But before giving this little introduction for our project, let me explain real quick what is a sojourner. Well, a sojourner isn't just a traveler or maybe an immigrant because it's a common misconception to think that a sojourner is an immigrant, but no. It is a person that lives in another country and has lived long to feel the change on his culture and the other culture. Let me explain real quick. When you move to another country, I don't know, maybe for months, you can already feel it because you make a routine, you meet new friends, and also you meet the maybe traditions of this new place. So you start to having this compassion about what are you really about or what are your beliefs. But of course, a sojourner has the sweet and sour thought that he or she has to come back to their own country because you're not going to stay forever in another country. You're going to travel and you're going to explore, or maybe you're going to go back home. So that's why it's a beautiful and, of course, horrible experience at the same time. And that is the sojourner paradox. And today, the group and I were going to explain what is really about the re-entry shock of these people who had lived in other countries. So, let's start with the introduction.
Part 1. Introduction.
Every year, thousands of students leave their country to live an intercultural experience. They learn new norms, new habits, and new ways of communicating. But what almost no one mentions is that the hardest part isn't arriving in an unknown country, but returning home. This documentary explores re-entry shock, the emotional, communicational, and identity shock experienced by sojourners when they return to their country of origin. Through 3 testimonies and the theoretical framework of intercultural adaptation, we will see how a person changes when crossing borders, and how they change again when trying to return.
Part 2. Context and definitions.
To understand the re-entry shock and the full process of intercultural adaptation, we must first look at 2 foundational models in intercultural communication research. First, the U-curve and the double V-curve. Both models explain how individuals change, adjust, and are transformed when they cross cultural boundaries. U-curve was developed to describe the experience of adaptation when an individual first arrives in a new culture. This curve has 3 main phases. First phase, the honeymoon stage. On arrival, everything feels exciting, new, and stimulating to the student. This person experiences curiosity, energy, and openness. Optimism and fascination dominate this stage, as cultural differences are often perceived as interesting rather than challenging. The second phase is the culture shock. After a few weeks or months, the tension begins to appear. Cultural differences become confusing, social norms are no longer clear, and language or communicating styles may cause frustration. This is the lowest point of the U-curve, where everything feels lonely, emotional, exhaustion, or even degradation to the host culture may emerge. The last phase, adjustment and adaptation. Gradually, the individual begins to adapt. They understand cultural codes more clearly, communicate more effectively, and develop a sense of belonging. In this upward phase of the curve, this sojourner does not simply adapt. They start growing. The U-curve explains the student's initial transformation. However, what doesn't anticipate is this cycle repeats itself. It's complex when the individual returns home. The double B curve expands this model by including the return home. It describes how culture shock occurs twice, once upon entering the new country, and again when returning to the home country. The double B curve includes three main stages during reentry shock. First phase, anticipation of return. Before returning, the student often imagines an idealized homecoming, like returning with family, resuming family returns, and feeling comfortable again. What this anticipation usually overlooks is a crucial detail. The student has changed. The second phase, the reentry shock. This is the deepest point of the second dip in the double V. It occurs when the individual realizes that what once felt familiar no longer feels the same. Communication with friends or family may feel awkward, value may no longer align, and explaining the life experience abroad can be difficult or frustrating. Emotions such as disconnection, nostalgia, frustration, or sense of not belonging are common. The third phase, readaptation. Eventually, the individual finds a way to reconstruct their identity within their home culture. This process is not about returning to who they were before, but about integrating two worlds, the acquired culture, the native one. The double V curve demonstrates that intercultural transformation is an ongoing process. The journey doesn't end upon returning home. It continues through the reconstruction of identity. So, to understand the reentry, we must first understand the entire intercultural process. Initial culture shock is explained through the U-curve, exciting, crisis, adjustment, and adaptation. But when the student returns home, the double V curve emerges anticipation, reentry shock, and readaptation. This experience of returning becomes even more complex due to processes such as acculturation, deculturation, and identity renegotiation. Identity theory in communication explains that identity is constructed through interaction. When individuals return home, their personal, relational, connected, and communal identities often no longer align with those around them. This is where the true conflict begins.
Part 3. Introduction of the interviewees.
To understand this phenomenon beyond theory, we spoke with three sojourners who returned to their culture after living far from their home countries and cities. They will provide their perspectives to give us a more human understanding of the impact of reentry shock.
What was the first thing you felt when you landed back in your country after your exchange program? Was there a specific moment when you said, I am not the same anymore? What hurt or bothered you most about returning? Did you feel disconnected from your family or friends? How did that disconnection manifest itself? What part of your life outside did you miss the most while trying to readjust?
When I landed back to my country after my exchange in Germany, I felt many mixed emotions. I was really happy, of course, because I miss a lot my family, but I also realized that I wasn't the same person anymore. Living in another country changed you a lot, and I noticed that my personality changed depending on the language I was speaking. So I feel really confused in that way. What impacted me the most was that I returned and I thought that I was losing my independence and confidence that I had abroad in Germany, because I felt more secure and free because I was doing the things by my own. And now coming back to Ecuador made me aware of that difference. I didn't have serious problems with communication with my family or friends, because I was really able to express them my experiences. They were surprised by hearing my stories from Europe, and I did notice that I changed in a way that I'm more distant now, like less emotionally expressive. I still talk to people, of course, but I don't share my feelings openly as I used to. And of course I was keeping digital contact with my family and friends because that really helped me, and so that made me feel close to my people while I was adapting to another country, another language, and another type of life, because my routine and the things I used to do was completely different than the things
Our second interview analyzes the process from more reflective perspective. How he changed, how he understood his transformation, and what point he recognized the re-entry shock.
How would you describe your initial adaptation process in the host city in your own words?
Well, first, it was difficult because I've always have this feeling, this strong feeling for my city, and when I came to strange one, it was like, I don't like it. This is not my place. I don't belong here. So it was like that. And the first time it was kind of difficult to adapt me to this new context, new place, new people, new practice, new places, you know. Even though I have really close some things like supermarkets, shops of fruits and that kind of stuff, I have it really close. Actually, in my own city, I haven't that close, but it was like also it didn't matter to me because it was like it is yet a strange place that I think I don't belong even like now. I'm part of it, yes, but I don't feel it like my place. I still feel it strange.
Okay, I can understand, because I also think that also when you are in the same country, but you go to another cities and another culture, another type of people. What difference did you find between the culture shock when you arrived and the shock when you returned?
Can you repeat the last part of the question, please?
It's what difference did you find between the cultures shock when you arrive at and then shock when you return?
Okay. To my city.
Yes.
Okay. The shock with the culture when I arrived here. Actually, I don't know if there was one because, as you said, is in the same country. So, and even it's like in the same region, and the dialect, the ways to talk, to communicate are basically the same. And I didn't feel like a shock with the culture. I adapt really fast and really well. It's just like of my part. I mean, I'm not saying like people here, like, I don't know, they don't accept me like part of this culture or anything. It's just like for me, it's still a strange place, and the shock when I came back to my city. I don't think that it will be a shock. It will be like a relief, like finally I'm in my city again. So in that part, again, I don't feel that it will be a shock. It will be like this peaceful and comfort zone and comfort place where I can come back whenever I need, when I feel like I don't want to be here anymore. And that, I think, of course, there is another some good things. It's not just like I see it like here in Tumbaco, like no, I hate it. It's a strange place and I don't want to keep here, because a lot of times I stay for studies, for parties, for meetings with my friends. I stayed here and it was like, okay, it's also part of my life or of where I belong, even though I feel like a strange place.
Okay, and the last question is, what aspects of your identity changed during your exchange?
Let me think. What it could be. Maybe.
Maybe it could be the way that you explain the things, or the way that you talk now, or
maybe it could be, but I don't know if it will be because of the culture or this exchange. Maybe I think it is for the new skills that I try to adapt because of the university and this academic context. Maybe it's more because of that, because even though I'm here in this new context, as I told you, is like the same zone, is the same like provincia, is like the same zone. So the words don't change. Actually, maybe the way that sometimes express something, or the tone that we express it, maybe that could change, but I can tell you how, because I don't feel it like it's a big change, you know. And I don't know, maybe I can tell you, like, if I go to Cuenca and live there, I can tell you my accent changed, because you can feel the difference very well. But here with Quito and Cayambe, no, no, so much difference.
Okay, Karen, thank you for this meeting. Yeah, it's
Finally, our third interview will help us to understand one of the most important elements of re-entry shock: communication. How it becomes disorder, how it changed, and how it influences the reconstruction of identity. What communications problems did you experience with friends or family after returning? Did you find it difficult to explain your experiences abroad? What kind of reactions did you receive? Did you notice any changes in the way you spoke, expressed yourself, or interacted with others? Do you think that maintaining digital contact with your friends abroad made your readjustment easier or more difficult, and how? Were there are any misunderstandings or culture shocks when you reconnected in your country? Give me an example.
Hola, mi nombre es Giovanna Quiñones y el día de hoy voy a responder algunas preguntas acerca de mi intercambio. ¿Qué fue lo primero que sentiste al aterrizar en tu país después de tu intercambio? Bueno, yo creo que tuve varias emociones mezcladas, pero sobre todo sentí un montón de tristeza porque sabía que lo que acabé de vivir nunca más se va a volver a repetir. Estaba muy feliz de ver a mi familia, pero al mismo momento yo no estaba preparada para regresar, la verdad. Yo quería seguir con mis amigos, seguir mi fantasía, no sé. Yo la verdad estaba muy feliz allá. ¿Te sentiste desconectado de tu familia o amigos? ¿Cómo se manifestó esa desconexión? Bueno, de mi familia no mucho, porque la verdad era muy pendiente, incluso siento que cada día les llamaba, les preguntaba cómo estaban, veía sus videos, a ratos los extrañaba, pero todo estaba bien. Vuelta con mis amigos siento que sí me desconecté al 100%. La verdad es que pasas tan ocupada o pasas viviendo otro mundo, como vives con otras personas, no tienes tanto tiempo a estar pendiente de tus anteriores amigos, así que siento que sí te desconectas un montón. ¿Qué parte de tu vida afuera extrañabas más mientras intentabas readaptarte? No sé, yo creo que la parte de mi vida que extrañaba muchísimo más es mi familia. Yo la verdad soy muy hogareña, extrañaba mucho a mi sobrino, a mis papás, a mis hermanos. Entonces siento que fue el primer choque, pero la verdad es que Estados Unidos es un país muy muy lindo, entonces yo siento que tal vez me costó unos 15 días y ya después me sentía bien. Era mi nuevo hogar casi.
So finally, all of these interviews helped us to understand better this effect. Because some people may be like, oh, I did really miss my country and I don't want to go back to any other place ever again. But then, there's these people that said, oh, I love my country, but I don't love it enough to stay here forever. I want to live in another country. Because, like you can see, they had like a lot of beautiful experience, and also they have met themselves during this trip. So let's go back with the analysis of these interviews.
The experience shared by Amy and Giovanna clearly reflect the process of re-entry shock, but expected to feel comfortable when returning home, but instead they feel emotional confusion and disconnection. Even though their home culture was familiar, they felt different inside. This shows that re-entry shock is not only emotional, but also a communicative process where identity becomes unsteady after. According to the U-curve theory, both Amy and Giovanna successfully adapted to their host countries. They learned new habits, communication styles, and ways of living, which helped them grow and become more independent. However, the W curve explains why their return was more difficult than their departures. When they come back, they face the lowest stage of the curve, where expectations of home conflicted by the reality of feelings out of place. From the communication theory of identity, both cases show a tension between personal identity and relational identity. Amy and Giovanna returning as dynamic individuals shaped by intercultural experience, but their families and friends still saw them as the same people as before. This mismatch created misunderstandings and feelings of distance, showing that returning home is not a simple end to the journey, but a second and more complex process of adaptation.
Returning home after living abroad isn't an ending. It's another stage of the journey. The shock of re-entry shows us that interculturality transforms who we are. We don't return home as the same person. nor do we return to the same home. In that liminal space between who we were and who we are now, we discovered that identity is a living process, a constant communication with the world and with ourselves. This is the story of those who return to begin again.